Alright, so the curtains are being made. Today I bought this famous covered bucket collapsible holding tank. It says for bath and wastewater, but I'm going to use it as a freshwater tank because it's collapsible, and that's awesome. And I'm extremely lucky to have hoses at both my jobs. Because I work a ton, so I can just fill this up when our water tank's getting low. I also bought this water filter that attaches to hoses. It gets rid of the odor, bad taste, sediments, bacteria, chlorine, and much more, it says. So that's what I have to work with right now, and I'll show you once I have it hooked up. Okay, so here is my water collection setup. I'm lucky enough to have hoses at both of my jobs, and I work all the time, so I can always fill up my 5-gallon collapsible water jug that I got. This hose came with it, so that's awesome, with the jug. And then this is the water filter. This is how it screws on. The water coming into it, there's a little arrow there that shows the flow direction. You have to first hook up this piece to this and let it flow for about a minute all the way through to get this black carbon water out of there. And then once its water's running clear, then you can hook it up to this and run it into here. The filter comes with this little piece, which attaches it to your tank. Actually, it's a no flex piece, so that this piece attaches to your RV, this piece attaches to the filter in that area where this black hose is attached. And that way it keeps from flexing the pipe in your RV. And then the jug also came with this neat little carry handle cap, so that when I take this black piece off, this will go on there. So I'm just going to turn the water on. And there it goes, filling up my 5-gallon water tank and filtering. Okay, so I filled up my jug all the way. The one thing I forgot to mention is that you should keep this collapsed until you're filling it up, because as it starts to fill, because it's a good seal, it'll start to expand, and you don't want to pop this plastic thing. So keep it collapsed as you're filling it up and let the water fill it. This is completely filled. I had to unscrew the hose and then re-screw it back on because I forgot to keep it collapsed. Here's my little carry handle attached, although I'm still going to support it from the bottom because I don't exactly trust this little piece. These collapsible water jugs, I guess I'd call it, are recyclable. You just remove this little plastic piece and discard it, and then you can recycle it when you're ready for a new one. And then I just hung my black pipe and water filter out just to let any excess water that was in here drain out. The thing that I mentioned earlier about the flushing out the carbon, that's only for the first time that you use the water filter. And then you'll notice on here, these have an average life of 3 months. So I consider that if you were using it once a day, that you could use it for 90 days. But you'll know if it's going bad because your water won't taste the same. So just check for yourself, or just go by the 3-month rule and change it out. And that's it. So this will be coming home with me tonight. So here we are at the fresh water tank. I have my 5-gallon cube that you guys saw me fill up in a different video. I've attached my hose that came with the water cube here. That's what I'm calling it. And then this little piece was preventing me from fitting the hose into my fresh water tank opening. And so I actually just pulled this back, and there's a little rubber seal that stopped me from doing it. So I just pulled that off real quick. And then I was able to fit this in here, and it fits in pretty snug. This is going to be gravity fed. You'll notice there's a little kind of mesh hole here off to the side. That is for the air to escape the tank as I'm filling up, so pressure doesn't build up. And then you'll notice a little sign here that says drain outlet. This little thing at the bottom that is all duct taped and rubber sealed off is actually the drain outlet for when you're emptying your freshwater tank to move, because you should always empty your tanks before you're moving your trailer. You want to go inside the trailer into where your freshwater tank is. In this case, it's underneath my dinette, and then pretty much directly above where this drain pipe thing is, somewhere in here on the inside, is a little plug. You just twist it and push it down, so that acts as a stopper and plugs off that drain outlet. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you're just going to let all the water out that you're putting in the tank. And then as your tank becomes full, some water might escape out of this little hole here. That's fine, but once it starts doing that, you definitely want to stop filling it, because that means your tank is full. Alright, so this might be a little hard to appreciate, but I'm holding this up over my head and I'm gravity feeding the water down into my fresh water tank. And as it gets lighter, the higher I'll hold it, and finish emptying this all the way in. This is 5 gallons. I have a 25-gallon tank, so I can do this 5 more times. Alright, so there it is, all collapsed. Emptied all 5 gallons in to the fresh water tank. None drained out because I went in on the inside and closed the little drainage hole like you're supposed to from the inside. I have my little rubber seal that I'm going to use to hold this little piece back on in place. I'll just put it back over this piece, slide this piece up, and then this will work again to be able to fill this back up. And you might be asking why I'm doing it this way. Why not just hook up a hose? Well, we are making Tina completely self-sufficient, and we won't always have a hose to be able to fill up our freshwater tank. So this is how you can fill up your freshwater tank without a hose, and it works really well. There's a little thing you can buy to go from this jug into your drainage port. It's like a little plastic funnel, but honestly, this pipe that came with the plastic water jug works perfectly fine. If you just remove this seal and slide this white part down, you can feed the tube all the way in. So I'm going to do this a couple more times.